Let's hear from J.J. Redick. He's speaking with Mike in the media.
JJ, what did you just make of the kind of the grit tonight and the effort? And obviously, LeBron and Reeves leading the way, but what did you feel was the key there?
Well, they're a really good basketball team, and they play hard. Like that's apparent from the first two games we played them. Kamara is very disruptive. And I thought our guys' poise was huge, and our guys' toughness. Two of the biggest plays of the game are LeBron getting the swipe down on Anthony Simons, AR's charge on Jeremy Grant. In another game where we can't really make threes, we have a high turnover. I just thought they were a tough team. I'm not saying that. We needed to be tough tonight, and we were tough. We earned that win. And for our guys to bounce back, getting in 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, probably going to sleep at 4, just big time from our guys.
I asked you at halftime about LeBron, and then he goes on to get 40. Obviously, he did have some turnovers with that ball pressure.
Double-double.
Yeah. What kind of run out of things to ask and say about it, but what's the level of?
Yeah, I mean, I told you at halftime, like, there's a staff we're talking before the game. Not sure going to sleep last night if he's playing today, and getting word this afternoon that he was in. It's like, man, he really just defies anything that's normal. And not just the physical feats and the plays, it's the mentality. He is, again, I believe I saw the other day, he's a billionaire. And he's playing on the second night of a back-to-back at 40 after 22 years with every frickin' record and every accolade. And the kids will say that I'm glazing him. He's one of the greatest competitors, and Nate and I were talking about before the game. It's like he's amazing to coach. He brings it every single day. Like he sets the standard for how you're supposed to approach this craft, and that's to me the most incredible thing. It's just the mindset to do it, get up the next day, do it, get up the next day, do it. Over and over and over again.
Austin Reeves, you mentioned the charge he took. He also had that jump ball on Scoot.
Yeah.
And then I think he was credited with a block. It kind of looked like a steal on Jeremy. Also, when they're trying to cut it from 6 down, 30 seconds left or whatever.
Yeah.
Obviously, his reputation is not a defensive player, but what allows him, or what has he shown you as his coach on that end?
He's going to give you every ounce of competitive juice that he has every single night. That's really what it comes down to. And he's a better athlete than people realize, but he sometimes is at a disadvantage, and that doesn't stop him from competing. And yeah, there was the Dallas game, but he's been really good on that end of the ball, and we saw that early in preseason. We saw it, or in September. We saw it in preseason. He's trying to do the right thing every time. That's easy to coach.
You guys were up 18 early. Obviously, maybe on some sense it would have been nice to have a quote unquote easy win. But do you get any value out of having to gut it out in a late game situation because this group is still going to know one another? And
yeah, I think you value any win. You value any win, particularly if you're a team that is really trying to make a playoff push and get a top 6 seed in the West. I think the way we started the game set the tone for the rest of the game, if that makes sense. Because we weren't playing great offense. It was just how hard we were playing. We didn't have to. At no point in time did we have to turn it on tonight. And we played hard for 48 minutes. It was second night of a back-to-back. I can just give our group a lot of credit for that. Give the guys a lot of credit.
JJ, your first two answers about LeBron and Austin both centered on competitiveness. You guys are still it's gonna take time for you guys to figure out how you want to play with Luka and integrate all these pieces. But does this kind of level of, I guess, competitive toughness, is that what will carry you guys through those sort of roadblocks as they come up?
Yeah, I think so. And I don't know if I've shared this with you guys. I had this revelation, like, I don't know, 6 weeks ago, 2 months ago. And the math stuff, it's important. Like, it really is. Like, you try to generate high-value shots. You strategize around throw-aheads and what those create. Like, all that stuff, it's super important. You game plan defensively. It's all important. Guys have to communicate, all that stuff. There's only actually one cheat code in the NBA, and that's playing hard. If you play hard every night, you have a chance to win. If you don't play hard every night, you're probably going to lose. And I said that to Chauncey after the game. It's what his group has done now, for the last 15 or so games, why they had a 9-1 stretch. Like, you give yourself a chance to win every night if you play hard.
Speaking of playing hard, you closed small with Rui and DFS. What did those guys give you down the stretch defensively?
Yeah, I mean, some of that was because they went small. I thought Jackson, and really, in watching the film last night, he did some awesome things last night too. I would have closed with Jackson probably if they had stayed big and kept Williams or the rookie Klingon on the court. But when they went small, I think we played 1 or 2 possessions with the bigger lineup, and then we went small. I thought, Rui on an off offensive night for him, rebounded at a really high level, and then Doe ends up as a +20, no surprise. Like, he's just a winning player, and that tip-in was huge.
We've talked about two questions. We've talked about, like, the physicality, all that stuff throughout the season. At various points, you mentioned having this revelation. I guess what sparked that, if anything, to have that revelation?
It just, it's a lot of it is based on, like, you got to make shots. I get that, but like a lot of it is just based on our good stretches of the season, the teams we've beat, the teams that have beat us. Like a great example is like JB has those guys playing really hard, and they play hard every night, and it's why they're in the playoff hunt after coming off a really bad season. They play hard every night. We didn't play as hard as them the 2 times we played Detroit, and we lose those games. And so it's just more of a reflection on, like, the good stretches, the bad stretches, who we beat, who we lost, and feel like against certain teams that maybe we weren't supposed to win, it was like blatantly obvious that we won because we played harder, and that's sort of where that comes from.
And we've mentioned small sample size last night. Jovan asked you about the threes, the uptick in threes in the past 3 games. That's come seemingly at the cost of rim attempts, rim shots. Today you guys had more of that. Just what did you see, either defensively from Portland or you guys offensively, that kind of led to?
Yeah, I mean, they did end up switching a lot with Williams and Klingon in the pick and roll with LeBron, and then they did end up switching a lot late. And so, by getting some of their smaller defenders onto AR and Braun, like, we were able to just really attack. We said it a couple timeouts in the second half. Like, let's not settle for off the dribble threes. Let's just try to actually get in the paint. Like, we can create an advantage every time down the court, and then the advantage then should lead to either a catch and shoot 3 or a paint shot.
Thanks, Coach.